Good day and welcome to another edition of 0 to Hero in Python programming. So basically today we'll be moving on from where we stopped in the last tutorial, which is graphical user interface in Python using Tkinter. We've treated the pack layout method, and mind you, pack is useful for simple layouts. It's not really useful for when you want to do some complicated layouts. And the thing is, it's the simplest of the three geometry managers, but today we'll be treating the grid geometry manager. So basically, I use the grid geometry manager a lot. Like, to me, it's the easiest to use actually, if you understand what you are doing. But in case you are good with pack geometry manager, actually you can do virtually everything you can do with grid geometry manager. In pack geometry manager, it should be a little bit more difficult. But having said that, let's just move on and explain what we do in grid geometry manager. So in grid geometry manager, unlike pack that we just say, okay, top or bottom, right, left, and the likes like that, in grid geometry manager, we actually use rows and columns. So it's something like you are dividing your layout into something like what we use in high school, like the graph book that we use that has boxes. So you decide the size of each grid. So basically, for example, you can see here, I said, okay, the geometry, I have to define the geometry. Then I said grid row 0 and column 0. So basically what I'm saying is the origin, the beginning. So if I tell this thing that, okay, I'm just writing what I have here already and putting it in the grid form. So I'm saying, okay, my learning Python GUI should start from row 0 and column 0 in the grid method. That is, start from the beginning at the top. So that's that. So we start from the top and on the left hand side. So 0 0. So that's that. Then I said canvas. The canvas, this thing, that's the frame we drew. So I'm saying relief equals raised. Of course, I said it should be raised up. Then I said canvas grid is row 1 column 0. So basically what I'm saying is, okay, the first one is this one is row 0 column 0. Okay, I've not explained this left frame. So the left frame is row 1 column 1. So that's basically, okay, the row after the first, row that's coming down the y-axis. Then column 1, that's moving forward from the left to the right. So column 1, that's where I want my left frame. So I'm now building my canvas on the left frame. I'm now saying row 1 column 1, that is, I'm leaving the first. We start counting from 0 in Python. So I'm saying leave the first row, move to the second row, which is row 1, then column 0, that is, start from the beginning, that is, start from the extreme left. So then I'm saying, okay, Tkinter frame. So this right frame, now I'm saying start from row 1, that is, row 1 is what? The next row after row 0, that is just rows, that's the second row, which is row 1 in Python, because we're starting counting from 0. Then column 2, that is, move to the right after the first column. So leave column 0, leave column 1, now move to column 2. So that's what we did here. And mind you, this column 0 is on main window. So it's sharing something with this. This canvas is inside this left frame. You can see it's inside the left frame from what we have here. So now I'm now drawing my buttons in the right frame. So these are the buttons. So I'm now saying, okay, buttons, so arrange by grid. So row 0 column 0, that is first column, first row. Then row 1 column 0, that is first column, second row. Button C will be on what? First column, third row. That's that on that. So if I run this, you can see our UI is looking exactly the way I define. I'm saying it should be. So you can see 0 to, that's this row 0 column 0. Then I said row 1 column 1. So you can see it's left the first column, move to the second column, which is row 1 in Python. Then left the first row, move to the second row, that's 1 1. So like that. Then this one now uses the other frame that is existing. You can see this one took the size of, it took its size in the distance. So let me just drag it up so you can see the whole thing. So you can see the first row, the first column took the size of the width of the text, and the height of the first row took the height of the text. So that's that. Until you define your size, which we will do in the next code that we are running, you will always have it taking the size of whatever is within it. So having said that, let's move on to the next line of code. So here now, what we are doing here is we are now, okay, what are we doing here? Adding sticky property. That is, okay, we're adding sticky property for it. For example, if we check what we add here, you can see our buttons were just on this side here. They were not where we wanted them to be. So adding the sticky properties now will help us to push them to wherever we want them to be. So you can see they are up here, and it's basically because of what? I've added sticky property in the row, in the right frame. Where is the right frame? Here again. So I've added the sticky property. I said stick to the knot. In grid geometry, we use sticky property, and we use the north, south, west, east. So we use the up and down position first. What we do, use the left and right position. So that's north, south, west, east. So whichever one you want to use, put that in mind. So I can just drag this back in. You can see it has moved to the north, and I can close it. So sticky property can anchor point and for the buttons. I've explained that already. So what is the extra thing I added here? So this grid column configuration. So basically we are adding, you can see we've been able to push them to the north, but we've not been able to decide, okay, what's the size of each column. So basically that's what we are doing here. So basically what we are using that for is, okay, we say main window. That's the old this thing that we have, which is main window is what we first defined there, if you remember. So main window, okay, column config. So we are configuring the columns now. We can configure the rows too. So, but for now we are configuring the columns. And basically what we said is, okay, the first column, which is 0th column in Python, give it weight of 1. Second column, give it weight of 1. So we are basically giving everything equal weight here. So that's basically what we did here. So, and we said grid column config. So running this, you can see it has given this one its weight. So it has the buttons have been able to move rather aligned to the left than what they were when we ran this. You can see they were just sticking to this side when we ran this. But when we ran this one, they were able to move to the center of their grid. So basically, another thing I would like us to do here again is what? I want us to be able to have the sticky property to anchor point of the button's position. So basically what I did here, okay, now you can remember, if you remember when I was explaining relief the other time, here we are just configuring the frames. So we said left frame config relief sunken, that is, remember when I said relief, sunken and raised the other time. Then border width equals 1. You can see our frames do not have borders, so we are adding borders to them now. Same thing here. Then we are now saying left frame grid north south, that is up to down. Then right frame grid north east west, that is up, then left to right. So that's basically what we did here. And if we run that, you can see, in case you are not, you can see this, it's sunken in here, and this one too is sunken in. If I had used raised, it would have been another ball game. So you can just try raised in case you are not seeing it well. But that's that on that. So another thing I want us to do is, I want the button B, that's the second button, to take the whole width of the frame or of its position, that is the third column. I want it to take the whole width. So what I would basically do is what? Use east to west, but it will not work. And I will explain why it will not work to you. You can see everything is still on one side. It is not taking the full width. And the reason why it will not take the full width is because we've not defined the weight of the column it's on. So until we define the weight of the column it's on, it can't just, okay, what's the weight of where I'm on that I want to occupy the whole space? So if I want to increase in size, how do I increase in size? How do I know when to stop? So that's basically what we did here. And when we ran that, you can see, when we define the weight of the right frame, which is this, we're able to actually increase the width to the whole size of the column. You can see the others two are to align to the center of that particular column. And here is where we'll stop this tutorial. Next tutorial will be doing advanced graphical user interface in Python. We're building something a little bit more complicated. We have scroll bar and the likes like that. But till then, I remain your host, Abbas Olaya. Don't forget to subscribe and click the notification button. See you in the next tutorial. Bye bye.